Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get you the insights that really matter. Today, we're tackling something that causes a fair bit of beauty anxiety, I think. Trying to change your hair color after you've used henna.
Oh, yeah,
It's this path lots of people think about, but honestly, it can feel like a total minefield, right? You
yeah,
hear horror stories. Green hair, damaged hair.
definitely.
So we're here to map out the clearest and, importantly, the safest way forward, pulling directly from the best source material we could find.
Exactly. And what the sources consistently point out is why this is so tricky. It's uniquely complex with henna. See, henna doesn't just stain the hair. It actually, coats it, wraps around the hair shaft.
Ah, okay, like a shield.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of it like a protective shell, but one that's kind of stubborn. So this coating, this barrier,
Yeah.
it physically blocks new dye from getting in properly. It changes how porous your hair is.
Right, so the dye just sits on top or doesn't take evenly.
Exactly. But even more critical is what our sources reveal about reactions. Some compounds, especially in the commercial henna products, can react really badly with traditional chemical dyes.
Badly how?
We're talking potential damage, really unpredictable results. So our mission, in this deep dive, is to pull out the step-by-step actionable stuff from the material we reviewed to help you navigate this whole thing safely.
Okay, it sounds like preparation is everything. Patience, precision.
Absolutely. That's the foundational thing here. Success really hinges on getting everything right before you even think about opening that dye bottle.
You can't rush it. It's like, there's chemistry happening that you need to respect.
You got it. Laying the groundwork properly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Someone's listening, they've used henna, they want to change. What's the very, very first step our sources say they need to take? Where do you start?
Right. Well, the first step, and this might surprise some people, isn't actually about products. It's about assessing your hair's health.
Just looking at it.
Yeah, really looking. Is it already damaged? Split ends? Super dry? You need to know the starting point. Then, and this is crucial, you do an initial strand test.
Okay, strand test. I thought that was for checking the color.
Good point. This first one isn't for color. It's purely a safety check to make sure there's no immediate adverse reaction between leftover henna residue and the dye chemistry.
So what are you looking for?
You take a tiny hidden bit of hair, like from underneath or behind your ear, apply a little bit of the dye you plan to use,
Yeah.
and you watch it. You're looking for anything scary, like the hair getting really hot, smoking, frizzing up badly, or changing texture in a weird way.
Wow. Okay.
It's a non-negotiable safety gate, basically. Tells you if it's even safe to proceed.
That's much more involved than just slapping dye on. Okay, so say that test goes okay. No smoke, no melting.
Good sign.
Right. But here's where, patience really comes in. Our sources talk about a significant pause after henna. How long are we talking? How long do you actually have to wait?
This is probably where most mistakes happen, people getting impatient.
I can see that.
The material is super clear on this. You need to wait a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks after your last henna application before using chemical dye.
4 to 6 weeks.
Weeks, yeah. And it's not just a suggestion, it's pretty vital. Our sources really hammer this point home, especially if you've used commercial henna mixes.
What, especially commercial henna, what's different?
Those often contain metallic salts, things like copper, lead, sometimes silver nitrate. They're added to give different color effects or faster results.
Metals in henna.
Yeah, it's common in certain mixes. And these metals are notorious troublemakers. When they meet the hydrogen peroxide that's in most conventional hair dyes, well, it can cause a really violent chemical reaction,
Violently.
like the hair heating up dramatically, producing fumes, turning some truly weird color like swampy green or bright orange, or in the worst cases, the sources mention hair literally breaking off or, yes, melting.
Oh my God, okay. Melting hair. Definitely want to avoid that. 4 to 6 weeks. Minimum. Got it.
It's a chemical clash you just don't want to risk.
Right. So, okay, you've survived the waiting game. Now you've still got that henna coating to deal with, even if the metals are less of an issue after the wait. How do the sources say to start tackling that, getting the hair ready?
Okay, so now we're focused on creating that clean slate. We're as clean as possible. The research points towards using a clarifying shampoo.
Clarifying, like a deep clean.
Exactly. But not just once. The recommendation is to use it maybe twice a week in the lead up to dyeing.
Okay.
These shampoos are designed to gently, gradually lift away, build up product residue, minerals from hard water, and yes, that henna coating. It's not about harshly stripping the hair in one go, but rather systematically weakening and removing that henna layer over time.
So it prepares the hair surface to accept the new dye more evenly.
Precisely. It's a slow, steady process, but it's the effective way.
Patience again. Okay, so clarifying shampoo helps clean the canvas. But what about the hair itself? Dyeing can be drying. How do we make sure the hair is strong and hydrated enough before the dye?
Good question. Protection is key. The sources consistently recommend beefing up your conditioning routine beforehand. For, say, the week or maybe even few days leading up to dyeing, use a really good, deep moisturizing mask. Like, properly saturate the hair.
Prehydrating it.
Yeah, think of it like prepping your hair for a potentially stressful event, giving it reserves of moisture. And then another tip that came up is applying a little bit of coconut oil, specifically just to the ends of your hair, right before you apply the dye.
Coconut oil, why just the ends?
The ends are usually the oldest, most porous, and most fragile part of the hair. The oil acts as a sort of light barrier, just to minimize a bit of the potential drying or damage in that really vulnerable area during the chemical process.
Smart, like a little extra protection where it's needed most.
Exactly. It's all about building resilience.
Okay, hair is assessed, weighted, clarified, hydrated, protected. Now, the big moment. Choosing the actual dye. This feels critical. What should people look for? Or maybe more importantly, what should they absolutely avoid?
This is a huge decision point. The sources are pretty unanimous here. Steer clear of hair dyes with high levels of ammonia.
Why ammonia specifically?
Ammonia is alkaline, right?
Yeah.
It works by swelling the hair cuticle open quite aggressively to let the dye molecules penetrate deep inside.
Okay.
With hair that's been treated with henna and might still have some residue or just altered porosity, that harsh swelling action can be really unpredictable. It can worsen potential reactions, especially if any trace metals are still lurking.
So it increases the risk factor we talked about earlier.
Significantly. So the strong recommendation is to opt for ammonia-free dye formulations.
Are those easy to find?
Yeah, much more common now than they used to be. Or consider known herbal dyes, though their results can sometimes be less predictable in terms of the final shade. But generally, ammonia-free is the safer chemical route here. Less aggressive, less potential for disaster.
Okay, ammonia-free. Got it. Now, we did that safety strand test way back at the beginning. But the sources mention another strand test right before you go all in. Why the second test? What's this one for?
Yes, absolutely crucial and easy to confuse. That first test was purely for safety checking for those scary chemical reactions, the heat, the smoke.
Okay.
This second strand test, done just before you apply the dye to your whole head, is all about color confirmation.
Ah, so this is where you see the actual result.
Exactly. You take another small hidden section. This time you mix up your chosen ammonia-free dye according to the instructions, apply it to that strand, and let it process for the full recommended time.
And what does that tell you?
It shows you precisely how that specific dye is going to look on your specific henna-influenced hair. Will it achieve the target shade? Are there weird undertones coming through, maybe greenish or orangey hints? Is the coverage even?
So it's the final preview. Your last chance to back out if it looks weird.
You got it.
Yeah.
It avoids that horrible moment of rinsing your whole head and discovering you've got, I don't know, khaki-colored hair. It lets you see the real outcome before committing.
The ultimate, try before you dye. Okay, makes total sense. So let's say the second strand test looks good. You dye your hair, you rinse, process over. Or is there more?
Oh, definitely not over. The aftercare is just as important for keeping your hair healthy and making that new color last, especially after all that effort.
Right, you want it to look good for more than a day. What's recommended?
Two main things came through strongly in the research.
Yeah.
First, switch to shampoo and conditioner specifically formulated for color-treated hair.
Why those specifically?
They usually have a lower pH, which helps keep the hair cuticle closed. A closed cuticle holds onto those new color molecules better, preventing them from washing out so quickly. Helps fight fading.
Okay, locks in the color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And second, make weekly deep conditioning masks or hair treatments a regular thing. Non-negotiable, really.
Keep up the hydration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chemical processing, even gentle ammonia-free dyeing, can still be drying. You need to consistently replenish that moisture to keep the hair feeling good, looking shiny, and holding onto that color vibrancy. Healthy hair holds color better.
It all connects. Wow. Okay, so quite a journey.
It is.
From checking the hair health right at the start, doing that safety strand test, the crucial 4 to 6 week wait, the gentle clarifying, the prehydration, choosing ammonia-free dye, doing the color strand test, and then the dedicated aftercare. It's a lot of steps, But understanding them, getting these details from the source material, it really does empower you, doesn't it? Lets you make informed choices instead of just crossing your fingers.
Absolutely. And what strikes me about this whole process, going through the details, it's how scientific personal care can actually be.
Mm.
Even changing hair color involves real chemistry and careful steps.
Yeah, it's not just random luck.
Right. So maybe a final thought to leave people with. When you understand this level of detail about something like safely changing your hair color, how might that encourage you to apply a similar kind of informed curiosity, that critical assessment, to other areas of your life, to look beyond just the surface information you're given elsewhere?
Interesting question. Moving beyond the easy answer.
Maybe that's the real deep